catching up with Liz. It was such an opportunity and any excuse to get her in. But actually, Liz is doing this, has really great cause of putting together this fertility summit. She's been working on it for over a year. And I thought this was a great opportunity for her to come out and speak to business at breakfast and just sort of get known more. We get to film it, get to put it out on YouTube, and but it's an opportunity for people to ask her questions. So I'll tell you a little bit about Liz. Liz currently lives in Canberra, Australia. I've known Liz for quite some time now through Business at Breakfast, probably 7 years, I reckon, through Business at Breakfast. She was a host for over maybe 4 or 5 years, Business at Breakfast. Finished up there, and she was the host of another networking group in Canberra called My Vibe. Now, how many years were you and the other girls at My Vibe?
I think 3. We did 3 years because I just walked away from that at the end of last year so that I could do the Fertility Summit. So yes, it's been 7 years all in all. I would have been back in Australia.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So hosts over at My Vibe with 2 other girls who were actually the volunteers here with me at Business at Breakfast as well. And then they ran a face-to-face group called My Vibe. And Liz has been a fertility coach. I get to hear her elevator pitch like every single week, and I kind of know it and her story really well. But ultimately, she has this great story as to how she became a fertility coach and then where this summit has kind of come from. And a lot of it has come from, yes, the fertility stuff with helping women or families or couples or however it is these days have babies. But also the other side of it is being a networking leader is you get to see people from all these different areas. And so she gets to talk to people in that fertility world who helps with, IVF, who helps with using acupuncture for fertility and all these other things. And so, of course, it makes sense that, to me, it makes sense that you would put together a fertility summit, putting all these people together in one room so that those who are struggling to have a baby get that opportunity to hear from great speakers and to ask questions of the speakers and to be able to see what all the modalities are out there and available as well. So Liz, here's what I want you to do. What? You've got up to 8 minutes, but if you don't take that long, don't worry. We have more than 8 minutes worth of questions. So even if you talk short, we'll have plenty of questions here for you. So I want you to do your elevator pitch again, right? Telling us that you're doing the Fertility Summit.
Okay.
And then I want a quick history of you to tell us a quick history of how you became a fertility coach.
Okay.
And then we're going to ask you questions about the summit. So you don't have to say too much about the summit because we're going to drag it out of you. We're going to ask you questions. And when we ask you questions, I want you to have a think about this and only answer directly the question that's asked, but don't add extra information. I'll give you an example. If someone says, how much is it for a ticket to the summit? I only want you to answer with the price, but stop talking and see what the next person asks, because I promise we will end up, and this is good for everyone to see, we will end up dragging out of you all the information that we need in the order that we need it, which sometimes is better than the order of which the speaker wants to tell us. All right. So no pressure here. Quick elevator pitch saying the Fertility Summit, then a history of how you become a fertility coach. Then we'll ask the questions about the summit.
All right. Okay, so my name is Liz Walton. I'm a fertility coach and I work in the area of creation. And with creation, I have created the Australia's very first fertility summit, bringing together the medical and the complementary fertility experts together so we can create under one roof a platform of people that can support everyone on a fertility journey, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally. There is nothing like this at the moment in Australia to support the general public on a fertility journey on the path that it can be highly, highly emotional. I do this because of my own fertility journey, and it's something I'm extremely passionate about to advocate for the people on the fertility journey. So my own journey was 10 years. I started at 36 and I ended it at 46. I had 6 IVFs, trying to do everything in my power to find out what the problem was. And the fertility journey gave me a big opportunity to heal the self. And I ended up in the end having a baby naturally at the age of 46. And because of this, I can now support others because I have a wonderful blueprint, because I was told I could never get pregnant without having IVF. So yes, and I've been in 30 years background in the health and wellness industry, coaching, I work a lot with unexplained infertility and the emotional issues that stop us from moving forward. That is my speciality.
Excellent. Something that I've learned about the unexplained infertility is from talking to you so much over the last years, Liz, has been along the lines of say with IVF, because we've met a few girls along the way, like that used to come to business at breakfast that have gone and seen Liz and have had babies since then too. But they would get this and I would hear it. They would say, well, I went and had IVF again to the tune of $10,000 this last month. And they said, there's no real reason for me not to be pregnant, but hey, I'm not, so I have to try again next month. How heartbreaking must that be? To the tune of so much money, but no real reason as to why you're not pregnant. There's no real reason, but you're just not. And so that hearing women say that and then discovering Liz has been kind of really eye-opening to really understand that unexplained infertility thing of what it is that Liz does. Karen, I see that you have your hand up.
Yes, I've got it's really good to know that you're there, Liz. I've got a niece who struggled so much having children.
Yeah.
She's been on so many IVF programs and failed. Mm-hmm. So what would I say to her about coming to see you?
So there's a couple of things. First of all, I have a podcast. So I know some people can feel a bit overwhelmed by asking. So by sharing them my podcast, that's a nice, easy way for them to understand a bit more about me. Secondly, come and just have a chat. Costs nothing. Let's have a chat so I can find out where you are, where you want to be, and let's look at what might be in the way. Because when we've tried everything outside of ourselves, I know sometimes we need to put the eyes on inside and look at what's going on inside. So it's looking at the scars that don't show up under the microscope. And that's where I can really support people.
So if there's an underlying problem like endometriosis, is that a barrier to get pregnant?
Yes, endometriosis can be an aspect to the fertility journey. So I look at what's going on emotionally. So I can also work emotionally with the individual if they're depending on what they choose to do medically within the endometriosis arena, because endometriosis can be quite a massive subject, from something that's quite small to also something that's quite big within the body. So depending on that, but I look at what would be, so blood represents a lot of how we feel about ourselves and our worth. So I look at it and support on the emotional aspect of what's presenting.
And where do I get this podcast?
So it's either on Apple or on Spotify, as well as Google, and it's called Fertility, Health, and Coming Back to Self. I've put my little thing just in the chat, and it's all the information is there too.
Okay, thanks so much.
Thank you. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Yeah.
Great,
so I need to just talk to her and just
let her know I'm here. I understand. I had a super long journey. I get it.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. Desiree, you got your hand up?
Yes, it's thank you. That was really nice, nicely done. Thank you, Liz. I share much of your journey as well for a very long time. And my question is how, but I never shared it with anyone what I was going through. So how do I listen out to women who might need your help, but do not necessarily say it? Because I certainly didn't talk about it to anyone. And if anybody asked me, I just told them it was none of their business, because that was my way of doing things. So so as not to get the same answer that I used to give to other people. How do I, what sentences, what kind of thing do people say that makes it sound like they could do with some fertility coaching?
Absolutely. So 1 in 6 couples suffer from infertility, and that's only the people that talk about it. Absolutely. So I think the best thing really is just to share. Look at somebody I met today at the networking event. Gosh, she's got a YouTube channel, not a YouTube channel. I don't have much on my YouTube channel, but now I've spoken to Misty yesterday. I really realize I need to. So well done, Misty. But she's got a podcast, so you can hear her voice and you can hear who she's talking to. And you know, she's got a fertility. I think the main thing is just sharing and knowing that we don't have to suffer alone. So I think the things are to say is I've met somebody, or share it and just go, you know, it's worth, isn't it good to know that there's someone you can reach out to when we feel we're in a really lonely place?
Yeah.
You know, so and you can also say, you know, meeting her, realized I never told anybody, so there must be within, you know, within this room here, even just on my computer, with 1 in 6, there'll be a few of you that have had a fertility journey. So it's okay to share, because we don't know the path out if we don't ask somebody for support.
Yes, I do have a client actually who's going through the fertility journey, and while I understand it, I don't know who to refer her to. So I will probably reach out to you and make an introduction between you and she.
Yes.
And so that then you can take it from there. So I'll give you a referral to her directly.
Absolutely. And let them know, you know, I've had a 10-year journey. I had a baby at 46. And because of that, I do know magic can happen, and I get it. So, you know, happy always to chat.
Sure. I'll send you an email and connect the two of you.
Thanks, Desiree. I really appreciate that.
Something else I'd like to add there with what Liz didn't say, because she doesn't know that she didn't say it. But the truth is she's easily accessible. It's what people forget to say. Oh, well, I understand the whole, they get used to hearing my voice, so they'll know what it's like when I speak to them. But truthfully, having a podcast doesn't necessarily make people call because they think you're busy and important, but they're not. And so the other side of it for you, Liz, but also for Desiree and for Karen to know that Liz is easily accessible. She is well known in her field, but not so well known that she won't answer the phone if somebody calls her. Not so, you know, like she will answer an email if somebody emails her. So she will answer the phone. She's a lot like me. She's a lot like Kathy. We're hugely famous in our space, but we still answer the phone when somebody goes to call us, which is different to a lot of other people who say, I'm available, but they're not. And Liz is available.
Absolutely.
So, and how she talks here is exactly how she is in your life. And she's this easy to talk to as well. So,
absolutely. And I work, you know, I've got clients in different parts of the world. So with the wonderful thing with Zoom is we can work anywhere. So that's a real blessing.
Excellent. Yeah. Gerald, you got your hand up?
Yes. Liz, I thought it was lovely because you have been there and done that. So you're not coming from a base of theory. And obviously the expectations and the pain that you've gone through. I have 2 questions.
Yeah.
One, may I ask the name of your offspring? And 2, is there anywhere else in the world that this exhibition that's being done?
Absolutely. So my daughter is called Willow, and she's now 8 years old. So I just turned 55 and I've got an 8-year-old, bless her, you know, it's the gift that we get given.
I must interrupt you there. You look remarkably well for someone of 55, I have to say that.
That's just because I'm in a little square, thanks.
Yeah, no, it's not. She's actually stunning in real life.
I'm sorry, I did interrupt.
Okay, yeah, no, that's good. So also, so in the States and also in the UK, I see that we both have British accents. It's done really well. So in the UK, it's called the Fertility Show. And again, it started as a day and it's now in Earl's Court, which is Fahook massive. So there is nothing like this here that supports people and advocates for all the issues that go on with fertility, because it is a very big subject. So I'm just starting with a day, and I live in Canberra, which I've chosen here, and I've got such a great product. And yeah, I'm just really hoping that it's what people want. So it's only three days away, and yeah, I think it's, you know, it's going to start changing lives. I have a free IVF to give away from Janaea, so really supporting people that have to do IVF, but those finances may be tough, and that's for the Canberra region. Yeah, it's, you know, it's a great place. It's a great space.
So tickets to the event are $200 each for individuals, and how much for a +1?
So what I've done, so for one person it's $199, and then I've done one with a +1, so two is $330. And at the moment I'm wanting to just to send out, share the love, really. So I've got a 20% discount till the 1st of July. But everything is on the website, AustralianFertilitySummit.com. Everything's there, so send everybody there, because, you know, I really want to make a difference and support everyone on this journey, because it's one that challenges and allows you to question your whole being.
Yeah, absolutely. And the +1 could be, it could be a partner, that you're having a baby with a partner. It could be just your mom, one of the girls going with their mom, or a sister or a best friend, so that they can find out about this journey together.
Absolutely.
They can have discussions. It's always good to have somebody to talk to about it.
Yeah.
I believe that your speakers will be up speaking, and then there'll be a Q&A section where audience members will be able to ask questions of the speakers. And it's kind of like a TED conference, but you get to actually speak to the speakers in a Q&A
Yes.
section, which makes it better than a TED conference.
Yeah, so we've got 4 fertility doctors, each one on IVF and aging, one on fertility and endometriosis. Someone was talking about endometriosis before. We've got one on egg freezing, and also we have a genetic counselor, so talking at all the genetic testing, the pros and cons. And we're going to do 2 speakers a break, so that you can go and talk to the experts, because the doctors are very busy and they've taken their time out. So I want to be able to honor them, as also honor the people on the journey, because that may be emotional. So we're going to have a space for them to go to. So it's just packed full of the top information that people are interested to know. And our MC is Sheila V, and she is a lady that was on the Big Miracles program, where they followed around 7 couples on their fertility journey, and she is quite an amazing person. So she was 47 and has just had a baby literally a month and a half ago. So she is our MC. So it's just such wonderful support and knowledge to come and be there with.
Excellent. So Karen, a very short flight from Melbourne to Canberra for your niece on the 20th of July. Just sort of, and it's usually pretty cheap, those flights.
Yeah, no, I'll tell her about it and get her to go onto your website. That'd be really good. Yeah. So thank you very much, Liz. It's something to look forward for.
Yes, do share. It would be right up her street and supporting.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Liz will be there, so she'll be easy to be found. You'll be able to, she'll be pointed out in the crowd. Kat and Diane, I noticed you got your hands up, so I'm going to go with you, Kat, first, and then Diane.
Hi, Liz. My hometown's actually Canberra, but I live in Melbourne. And you know my cousin, Daniela. We've got the same surname.
I do. I was going to thinking, I know someone else that does those golden drops.
Yeah.
It's your sister.
Yeah. That's so funny. So yeah, congratulations on your summit.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I did hear about it. And I guess my question, out of curiosity, is there in your journey, is there a connection with inflammation and fertility in your research and journey?
Is there yes and no. I mean, I'm not a medical doctor, but I suppose something where we have inflammation, that means that there could be medically something going on. So endometriosis is an inflammation, okay? Polycystic ovaries can also have inflammation. So where there is inflammation, it's having a look at what that can be. So if we look at nutrition, where we have a lot of inflammation as well, that could be things to look at dietary wise. So inflammation may not support the body in its best health. And if our body isn't in best health, then that can have an effect in fertility. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And thanks for letting me know that I've got another 10 years of if I'd like to have kids in the future. That's good.
Well, the more we're healthy, I think our health is just so important. The more we're healthy, then we can support our body to do as many things as well as creation.
Thanks.
Excellent.
Thanks, Kat. Really love to meet you.
Yep. Thank you, Kat. Thank you, Liz, for the answer. Diane, you've got your hand up.
Yeah, hi Liz. Just in terms of being able to share, have you done like sort of posts on social media? So would have the link of that to be able to share it on social media.
Oh, Diane, absolutely. So basically, if you're on Facebook or Insta, either one, go to Australian Fertility Summit. And we have just got loads of stuff that we're putting on there, all about the speakers, just everything that's happening, because I'm also going to be doing lots of different Instagram lives. I just did one before here with Patricia Falchetta, who will be talking on fertility, neurodiversity, and hormonal balance. So everything is being shared there as well. So please go to Australian Fertility Summit, Instagram or Facebook, and feel free to share away. Okay, because apparently shares are really good because they'll get into yours as well as the Australian Fertility Summit. So I want to make it let everyone know this isn't about me. I've just been the creator. I'm just the conduit. I want this to really be something that starts to change lives and really helps people when we feel that the doctors have all the answers and we have nothing, that there is a way where we can bring back the power. And having all of those wonderful different 20-odd therapists that will support those individuals in all sorts of different ways. I've got hypnotherapists, I've got acupuncturists, I've got all different types, that there is a way that they can have their power back and have control and support themselves on, it is an exceptionally emotionally different path to walk on.
Yeah, perfect. Excellent. Thanks, Liz.
Excellent.
Thank you, Diane.
I'll share away.
Thank you so much, guys.
Here's another way we can share. Here's another way we can share. So I was chatting to Liz yesterday and I said, you know what we could do? Let's jump on Zoom now and then I'll interview you very quickly and then I'll put you up on YouTube. And now she's now been interviewed. I did two different ones. I did one on the Fertility Summit and one on her journey on how she became a fertility coach. But now on my YouTube channel, I have these two videos of Liz talking about fertility and the summit. And what does Kathy always say? Hashtag, hashtag, hashtag. So I just hashtagged all of the fertility and all that other stuff, right? And allow that to fall wherever it may. But there's another way. You guys want a video for YouTube for next week? Get on a one-to-one with Liz, even if it's for 5 minutes, just film her quickly through a Zoom and then chuck her up real fast onto your YouTube. And then that's another way, because the more her name gets mentioned on other platforms, it's like Ryan Reynolds, right? How does Ryan Reynolds become the most famous Ryan Reynolds in the world without ever having a website? Here it is. He shows up on everybody else's platform. So to help Liz get known more in this space, or get this space to get known more, is if she shows up on our other platforms. So if anyone's got a spare few minutes this week or over the course of the week to just get on a YouTube or just film her somehow, and then check her up on YouTube. There's just another way to do it. It might be if you can, I don't know, do it through your phone and then just run it back up really fast. Gerald, you got your hand up?
Yes, just very quickly. Are you on LinkedIn?
I am on LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn as Liz Walton, and I've recently just also done the Australian Fertility Summit as well. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Diane. Thanks, everybody.
Excellent. All right. Thank you, Liz, for being our speaker today. And thank you, audience, for participating in this conversation. It's quite a topical topic, right? A very important topic, and the word needs to filter out to so many more people. So thank you, Liz, for coming out and being our speaker, and fingers crossed over the next 3 weeks as you get those ticket sales come through.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks,
and
Gerald.
we'll see how that
Very
turns
kind.
out as well. And we're looking forward to then hearing on the other side of it. We'll have to have you back out and we can interview you to see how it went as well. So, which will be exciting.